All right, guys, this is Mark from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. We're just at home sitting around thinking about the people that come on the tour. And so we decided to have a quick discussion amongst ourselves, and we recorded it. So here we go.
Trying to figure out the best way to tell you guys that coming over here sight unseen or without a visit severely impairs your opportunities to migrate successfully here in South Africa, meaning that we don't want you, falling in love with South Africa, but then having to go back simply because you wasn't prepared. There's been too many reasons why people haven't been going back. Tasha, what does the other people say, like Ivy Prosper?
Ivy Prosper said that essentially people are moving back because they're not prepared. They didn't come on a visit. They don't understand the financial obligations to be in the country, and then they end up blaming the country for their failures. It's not fair. You need to be prepared. The country doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah. So why do you think people are coming here just saying, "Hey, I live somewhere in the United States, and I'm just going to just move"? What do you think is making them say that?
Emotions are making them say that because where they are in their life is a little bit difficult, and they just want to get out very quickly, so they're not really forward thinking enough to think that they're going to have to be able to sustain themselves in another country.
Okay.
So that sets you up for failure.
Okay. Because I think a lot of people come here and they're thinking that it's going to be the same format of how it is in the States, how it is here, because they see roads, they see infrastructure, and they see this and they see that, but they don't realize that this isn't your local government from the United States. This isn't your state government or provincial government from the United States. And then, of course, you're a tourist. So tourists can't just pop up in countries and just have all the rights of citizens or residents. And I think people find that out along the way.
There are a lot of people doing videos, and what's funny about the videos is that I'm not saying they're not being honest, but what I am saying, there are people that tell you all their struggles, but at the same time, the people that are telling you about their successes don't always tell you about their struggles. They don't tell you how they overcame it. They don't tell you how to get to where they are, because it is a process. So
Yeah.
I think they miss the how you get it part, which is you need to familiarize yourself with the country, and you can't familiarize yourself with a country through the internet. That's not how you do it. That's like
Google's
saying,
undefeated.
I mean, it's kind of like online dating. And I don't know anybody that's been successful with that either. But that's kind of how I look at it. That it's kind of like a failed attempt at trying to Google your way through a process that requires you to be present.
Well, all I can say, guys, is listen. From my perspective, we didn't do any of that. You expect me to tell you, the shortcuts and the quick tips, and let's have a dinner, and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. It took us years to accumulate the knowledge and the ability to do what we have done. Years, and so it's kind of like writing the Cliff Notes version. And unfortunately, it's a moving target. Things happen all the time. Everybody's story is different, and so that's why we always say, and I'm going to say it again, if you come on a trip and you fall in love with South Africa, or you just like South Africa, or ... It's all going to come with you getting off that plane here in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, or anywhere else, and getting to know the people, getting to know the environment, because a lot is going to be required of you to make this happen.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you don't have a target, like if you hadn't come and eaten the food and enjoyed yourself like you wanted to, feel a little bit of freedom, if you haven't done it already, you're not going to do it later on. If you never came, you're just not going to do it, and you're going to always be looking for shortcuts. So that's why I'm like, come, you can make your own story, you can do all the stuff you need to do along the way. If you need assistance, we will kind of guide you a little bit here and there, but I can tell my wife, I said, especially if it's a grown man with children, a wife, and so forth, those are decisions that he or she is going to have to make together, and I trust that they will. They know themselves better than I know you. So for me to sit back and tell you to do this and do that is very disingenuous, and it's not even fair. but unfortunately, you can't get it done. And you're just going to get it done together, but you will get the information just by being here. We got people, repeat offenders that's flown back many times, and we call them that because they're in their journey. They're literally in their journey, and they might not have thought that was going to be the case initially.
Yeah.
But they come to find out that it's happening exactly like we told them, and so then now they're trusting us to say, okay, now we want to come.
If you're coming that many times, chances are you like who you are when you're here. And that's why I'm always like, man, come discover South Africa, come discover yourself.
Actually,
and when you are sending us emails like, I'm looking at Melrose Arch, I'm looking at Rosebank, I'm looking at Sandton, I get all of that, but there's so much more. There's so much more available, but you don't know that, again, through a Google search, or the people that are on the internet telling you about those places is because that's all they know. But if they explored more rather than exploring and then telling you immediately,
they do their 10 days, 5 days. They fly back to the United States and they're excited, and they should be. It's exciting. This is exciting, guys. I promise you that. And I understand why they want to put these videos out, because just like we do videos, because they want people to know how exciting it is. And then we all start bombarding those people, asking them personal questions like, how much did this cost you? Where do I stay here? Like all these different things. And they really don't know, because they spent 5 days, 10 days in the country. And you want to put your whole livelihood, sell your house, do all your stuff based off somebody who came here for 10 days and they're talking to you on the internet, i.e. emails telling you things that they heard. And there's no responsibility in that.
There's no responsibility. I'm not saying you can't give information, but you need to be careful with the information that you give, because if someone is vulnerable and you're saying, oh, you can just move to South Africa, they're going to think they can just move to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to think they can just move. I see the vulnerability. I see the distress. I hear the distraughtness on these phone calls with people who are literally in a desperate state, and they're like, I just got to get out of here.
And that's so. No,
I'm saying no. Most of the people that we speak to, thank God, have watched our videos. They understand the process, and a lot of the people that you don't see that have moved have also come through us and have also done the right process. So
you know what I find? I find sometimes that, like, people call us and they say, oh, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. Can you give us tips to where to stay, where to go, what to do, where to da. So that tells me that they're going to come here. They're going to waste basically all their time just trying to orientate themselves. They're going to see some pretty stuff, but they're going to be orientating themselves the entire time. And in my mind, I'm thinking you should come here orientated. Granted, you've never been here. That's where tourism comes in. We got you orientated. We got you set to go to the right direction you need to go, to have the experience you need to have. So those 10 days that you're here are very eye-opening. You spent all that money to come here, all that time on the plane. You've done all these things just to get here to kind of achieve one or two things. Our people come here and they're like, whoa. By the time they leave or getting ready to leave, they're on fire. They're
because they've done the most. They've made the most of their time.
And then they realize, so if I do it again, let me book another trip with these guys. And then they come again, and then they don't start over from scratch. They actually go to the next level.
Yeah, because there's levels to this.
And there's levels to this thing. And but yeah, so and then eventually those people are like, okay, I got my visa. I have a strong idea where I want to stay. I'm comfortable here. My wife is comfortable here. My husband's comfortable here. My kids are comfortable here. We understand. We've been here 3 or 4 times, 5 times. We're right where we need to be. And then they know how to acclimate to South Africa. They know how to treat South Africa. South Africa knows how to treat them. And you know when it's done, when not only that you're talking about SA, a whole lot, because they are.
Every day.
Is the fact that when you're in the States, when the States start to feel so out of date, unfamiliar, and everything, when you wake up in the morning, you are wishing you was in South Africa because you want to start being more African than you ever being an American. That's when you are like, okay, I'm ready. And then that's when you really are like, okay, let me get sorted out, and so I can start living my life in South Africa. And of course, you're going to go through the issues of friends and family, nobody understanding, because none of them came on the trip with you. And then they're going to come online, tell you about some online experience somebody had, or the statistics,
yeah.
whatever. But you've already are sold on coming because you know the type of life that you're going to have. So that was our story.
I'm like,
yeah.
I have made up in my mind that as far as the whatabouts are concerned, y'all can keep those whatabouts. It was about how I felt, how the people made me feel,
y'all can hear us say
the weather, like the air smells different. I know that sounds weird, but it does. But I was going to ask you, what do you say to the people that say, I can't afford to come on multiple visits?
Well, then I would say that you would have a hard time actually living here. You just will. If you are just barely above board, you're going to have a hard time living here for various reasons. Because the reality is you're still orientated to the States. And every time something goes on in the States, you're going to be wanting to jump back on planes and go back to the States. You should be getting more used to the culture of being here. And if you can't afford to keep coming here, then I would say slow it down. Because if you come here and you think you're going to be running into the American culture, you're running into it from time to time. But trust me, it's more of a South African culture than anything. So you need to be able to spend that time here so you can understand.
And what do you say to the people that have never been on a visit, but are coming here looking for other Americans?
Well, the Americans are here. Most of the Americans that have come here, they realize that once they have been here, because a lot of these Americans that you're looking for have been here on multiple visits. And they're like, I don't have to live in a community with a whole bunch of Americans. They realize that the reason why they came here is to be in Africa and to fellowship with South Africans. And South Africans will accept you along the way. And sometimes that makes them end up in a small suburb of Cape Town or a small suburb of Johannesburg. Not Johannesburg proper, not Rosebank or anything like that. They end up finding their way. And so are we just jointed together like, oh, this block of Americans that are coming to do these things? No, people are coming to find peace. You think you do because in your mind you're thinking, hey, I'm smiling, but you really are doing this. And the people that's been here a long time, we smile every day on purpose. And so it's sometimes they just, hey, we've had people say, man, I can't believe y'all told people about this. The people that's been here and people that are coming, because they realize that they can come and have a level of freedom. If you're coming here to continue the struggle that we constantly deal with in the United States, you might have a problem. You might find one or two other Americans that feel like they need to do that, but most people realize they do not have to be in the struggle. They do not have to struggle to have a happy life.
I think a lot of the Americans that are coming over here, especially the ones that came through us and chose not to do a video, is because they wanted to keep it to themselves.
Yes. This place is special, guys.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of, when people come here, they realize that that none of that has to happen. They can there's amazing cities and municipalities throughout South Africa, throughout Port Elizabeth, throughout Mbombela, Nelspruit, throughout Bloemfontein, throughout places you haven't heard of. And I can go on and on and on that people find and they're like, this is for me. This is for me. And once they realize they don't have to fight anymore and they can get everything that they want and they feel like they're part of the majority because the majority of people are addressing them, they're like, this is what's up. Yeah.
This is
So I
nice.
really don't know what to say, but I would say coming on a tour is probably your best bet. Just submit to that.
Even if you just come on a 6-day, just
Yeah.
come and
Just submit to it.
just come and see it.
Yeah. So just submit to a tour. You know, nobody's trying to take you from your beloved America. America will be there when you get back. I promise you. When you go through customs, they're gonna ask you where you been.
Yep. Every time.
Yeah,
and why did you go?
Yeah, the few times I've been back to the States, and there were very few over the last 7 times, they always ask me where I've been and how long, and they ask me a lot of questions. But when I come back through the gate here in Johannesburg, they just say, "Welcome home."
Yeah.
Hey, welcome home, bro. You know, it's different. So all I can say, guys, is listen. Look at our website. We got a lot of opportunities. So if you're looking for an opportunity, that's where they are. That's where they start. Do that, and then once you do that, and you come on the tour and you start doing these things, what I'm saying is going to make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to make more sense and more sense as you return back to the United States, as you're sitting in traffic, as you're paying that big mortgage, as you're doing these things. For us, because we're here, and they do see that we're part of tourism. Tourism isn't just traveling; it's business. It's so many different things, and they see us, and they're like, "Well, we want to work with these guys. We want to do these things." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, it makes sense, but we got to get them here. We don't have any of these things. Let's just be honest." But they're willing to share what they have, and I think South Africa, being part of BRICS and probably one of the leading countries in pretty much every arena on the African continent, is a plus. So let's take advantage of that, and let's use that 90-day visa that they give freely without even charging you.
A tourist visa, let's be clear.
Yeah, a 90-day tourist visa. They don't even charge you. They don't charge you anything.
But South Africa doesn't do that.
I just talk about what it allows you to do. It allows you to come here, explore the country in a manner to where you can get to understand the country, to understand the locations, to understand the cultures, to meet the people, to eat the food, to be able to stay in amazing locations or maybe not so amazing locations. It gives you a bird's eye view of the possibility. It really does. We ran into a Saturday Night Live alum since we were here, actually a few weeks ago, in the Kruger. They were like, something's going on here. They just could not figure it out. They was like, this South Africa thing, and then they kept saying, "But you guys live here every day?" And we're like, yeah. They said, we only been here for a few weeks, and South Africa, that little bit of time was changing their view, and they're from Florida. And Florida's very nice, but they're looking at South Africa like, maybe we need to be looking at something else. And all I can do is just, I gave them the, hey, I'm glad you're here. You're coming as a tourist. They're going to expose it to you, and just accept it as it comes. And the reason why I say that is because no different than with immigration and problems that we have in the United States, they have it too. They have people from all over the world coming here, and they want you to come proper. And if they sense that you're not proper, coming as a tourist is proper.
Yeah.
But when you're not proper, then that's when you start seeing people have problems, and then you start seeing them trying to force their tourism or their tourist visa, trying to turn it into a resident visa, and they start having all kind of problems. They were praising South Africa when they was a tourist. Then they tried to turn it into a resident situation, and now all of a sudden they got all kind of complaints about South Africa. Oh, they need to do this. Oh, they need to open it up this. They need to do this. And unfortunately, they're not going to do it because you came as a tourist. Do what tourists do. With us, we're like, hey, come as a tourist because we know that's an open playing field to find out what South Africa really is. And you really need to. You got to do it. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're 75 years old and you're like, oh, I'm going to tell you the same thing. And, they give you an open playing field. They're not going to do anything more than what's legal.
Yes.
They have an amazing immigration program, and they're improving it all the time. And if you just decide to get on that path, we're going to say, hey, oh, you really do like it. Oh, yeah, we was thinking we want to come back. Here's the normal thing. They come once, they come twice, they come about 3 times. They're like, wow, this place is crazy. Then they're like, what? Then they ask the same question. Natasha?
A visa consult.
A visa consult. Because with a proper company, and they can determine that, what your situation is, good or bad. But you need to know. If it's something that they feel like that you can earn a visa, you can hire them. Then you can get a visa.
Mm-hmm.
In the meanwhile, while you do it, you can come back.
Yep.
A lot of people do. They be in the visa process and back here. Hey, we at the airport. At this point now they feel comfortable with going back and forth on their own. They call us, let us know, and then all of a sudden they get issued their visa, and in their mind they're like, wait a minute. As a tourist, I only could do this, but now I could do this.
Yes.
And then that's where the excitement comes. And then they come here and they move here. A small percentage of them make videos and talk about their journey and whatnot. And they don't tell you, I watched a few, they don't tell you everything. They just say, hey, I sold everything in the States. I moved here. But they always give the reasons for them moving here. And it's because of the cost of living. A lot of it is just the comfort and ease of being here. It's a slower environment.
Okay, yeah, they have peace when they're here. They finally give up the idea that struggle equals success. They finally give up that idea, and they actually start to heal and work on their trauma, because a lot of the responses we have as Americans are trauma responses.
Yeah.
So they learn to slow down. They learn to be patient. They learn that South Africa has its own system, and they learn to appreciate the slowness, because now they get to slow down. Mm-hmm. Their brains get to slow down. It does take a while to deprogram yourself, and that's okay. But the deprogramming actually starts when you start coming on a visit. It happens slowly. But to try to move over here and deprogram yourself without going back and forth, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying it would be a little bit more difficult if you, because I know for us, we came back multiple times, and every time we came back, we start to say, this is what it means to be African. This is what it means to feel this way. This is why I like going back. I wish I could bring this with me. And when you start to get that idea of, oh, I can have a better life, the deprogramming is like, oh, I've been sold a bill of goods with this American dream, which is probably a nightmare right now. I don't know. And I can actually live out my dreams here without having to struggle, without having a trauma response. The people here treat me good. When I say the people treat me good, I mean all the people, white, black, Indian, all of them treat me good. Yeah. And I don't think that's just because I'm American. I think they treat me good because they are good. And I think they treat me good because I get to be good. I'm a better version. I'm not walking around angry all the time. And it's funny because I didn't realize how angry I was until I got here. I was mad all the time.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Obviously, so you don't have to apologize. Anyone has to apologize. But I'll say to you this, and I'm gonna let it go from here. Before we came here, my passport sat in my security box. I'm sure everybody has a security box. My passport sat in the security box. So whenever you do transactions and they want to identify yourself, in the U.S., we pull out our driver's license and you show your driver's license. And I can't remember the entire scenario, but here in South Africa, people ask for your passport. So my passport currently is in my bag. So anytime anybody asks me about
an ID
or anything, they're going to ask you for your passport. Everybody carries their passport. That's just what it is. So this one particular person got upset because they thought that somebody was trying to scam them because they were asking for their passport, and got upset, blew up. And that's where I always say we need to be giving people or understanding that there should be some grace involved here. The person who asked for the passport, that's what they do. Yeah. That's just what it is. Yeah. But in the States, that's like, why you asking me for a passport?
Yeah. You trying to get something from me. You trying to take me for something.
That's not even the point. The point is that there are certain customs and courtesies that happen here in South Africa. If you popping up tomorrow, eventually, I mean, people are upset because Tyler, the little Emma piano singing young lady, is claiming that she's colored. People are culturally pissed off at her. Oh, we're gonna because she's black. She's here in the Republic of South Africa, where her and her descendants and her elders come from, and even her, I guess, little siblings or whatever she has. They are in a classified race called colored. It just is what it is. It's not the interpretation of the American version of being colored. Wow. America, when they made that up, they was not thinking about us. They were only thinking about themselves, and they decided amongst themselves, and they are very proud. Yeah. When you say to them they are colored, they are proud people. Yeah. And so for us to be so disrespectful and act like she's not colored when she told you that's who she was, but you need to understand that
in South Africa,
there's a few million of them just running around
in South
claiming
Africa,
colored and happy as hell that they're colored. Yeah. All I can say is visit our website, therealsouthafrica.com. I promise you, when you do come on that website, you're gonna have tons of options. We do tourism, so when you do tourism, it's a little different. You have a website, you have all the options, then you get to choose. You can look at the itinerary. You can actually choose how many people that you're going to come, and then you can actually choose your arrival day. So as you're going through and you're clicking, you get to choose the arrival day, and of course the price will pop up. Then you got the option to choose the payment plan. You can pay it out full, right? You can put a deposit down, or you can use a travel now, pay later scenario called a firm. So that's what we have, because we actually do tourism. So the next time somebody send me a message saying I don't see the pricing, it's because you didn't select a package. So let's say you want to go to Cape Town for 10 days. You go down to Cape Town, click on that. When it opens up, it's going to say 6, 10, or 13. And then it pops up. It shows you the pricing, how many people are coming with. And then you go right down to the next thing. What's your arrival date? And then you push right through. That's a professional environment. It's a professional environment where you can use your credit card or your debit card or whatever form of payment you want to use. And then you travel, you arrive, and everything is done for you. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, we will see you here in sunny South Africa.
All right, guys, the real estate tour, like I said, we wanted to bring you inside. The reason why we like to do real estate is because we purchase real estate here in South Africa. So we know what it's like to go through the whole process of trying to find a property, trying to find proper vendors, trying to do the process, because it is a little different than the United States. But we were able to do it, and obviously we've been living in this home for roughly 7 years, going on 8 years. So I think we kind of got an idea of how it all works. We've been able to assist many people via our real estate tours to get in their own properties. So there is a process. It's not like the United States. Just keep that in mind. It's a different process, but there's a process, nonetheless, that really, really, really works. And that's why we're like, if you're looking at trying to come to South Africa, especially if you're looking at, buying property in Durban, I'm trying to tell you, is amazing. If you've never been, I know a lot of guys are thinking, well, I've never been to Durban, so what is it like? What is it like? That's another reason to come on the real estate tour, because you're going to be able to see what it's like. And those that came on the tour are walking around like, man, why nobody ain't told me about this? Well, nobody's not going to tell you about it, because all the value is there. All the value is there, and y'all know how it works. They're never going to tell us anything. But fortunately, the real South Africa is here, travel and tourism, and we gain access. We got access in the tourism space, and we got access in the real estate space to make sure that when it's time for you to purchase property at an amazing price point, I'm just going to tell you that, and I can't tell you one particular price point, because you're going to look at houses that are 70, 80,000 USD apartments, all the way up to $1 million plus. So, and we're going to give you all of that, all at one time. So I know it's a lot, but I think those that came on every real estate tour we've done, to include the ones in Johannesburg, once they got here, they was like, I see what you're doing. Thank you for putting it together, and we really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand it off to Tasha and let Tasha tell you the rest. It's an amazing real estate tour coming to Durban. Yes, we just finished one. Now we're getting ready to do another one. So the dates are, go ahead and check it out now, 22nd November to the 1st of December, which is going to give you access to so many different things, so you can go ahead and purchase property. We have land available. We're going to have all types of lock up and goes. We're going to have condos, 1, 2, 3 bedroom apartments, of course single family homes, penthouses, you name it. So there's going to be too many opportunities to go ahead and purchase property here in South Africa. Only thing you have to do is go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com, scroll on down till you see Durban Real Estate Tour, and go ahead and sign up. Put your deposit down so you can go ahead and reserve your spot. Now we're going to have a limited availability for a lot of reasons, because we want everybody to get great service while they're here. And of course, hotels covered, all these great things. So all I can say is, come to sunny South Africa. Mark Blanton, and this is
Dr. Latasha Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism.
And we have amazing packages to Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. So we would like to see you guys here. All you have to do is just go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com, and we'll make sure that your trip here is amazing.
See you here in sunny South Africa.
All right, guys, this is Mark Edward Blanton from the Real South Africa. And guess what? Our visa services is back. We're going to be helping you guys with visas, because we all know that it can be problematic to get a visa here in the Republic of South Africa. So what we have done, we partnered with a big company that will assist us, and we've checked them out. We recommend that their services are very, very proper. Of course, we go with proper here in the Republic of South Africa, and they can assist you. So if you have questions about, do I qualify for a visa, then that's when we have our consult. You get a consult with these guys. They will literally go through everything with you. And my expectations is for you to ask all the questions that you need to ask, so you will know exactly which way to proceed. So they work in every arena of immigrations. So it would definitely help us who are looking to migrate to the Republic of South Africa. And all I can say is, first, come on a trip, of course. And once you come on a trip, then you will be motivated to do all the work that needs to happen for you guys to come to South Africa properly. So all I can say is, this is a great team. This is a great situation. All I can say is, again, reach out to us at outreach@therealsouthafrica.com. We will respond to you, and then you'll get an email, and then the process has began. Okay, so we will see you guys here properly in sunny South Africa. All right, guys, the real estate tour for 2025, it has been set. We're going to Durban. Durban is amazing, as you can see. A lot of coastal villages, a lot of coastal property that you're going to be able to see right there on the Indian Ocean. We're going to be having a lot of events while you guys are there. Just like the 2024 trip, they were surprised of how organized and how well it was, and that they had access to property, and you're going to be able to have access to property as well. So if you ever thought about having property in sunny South Africa, this is your chance. I would say book this trip immediately, come through. Of course, we have payment plans and so forth. And of course, we have a lot of content on our YouTube channel talking about what they did in 2024 and in 2023 and in 2022. So I would say, for you guys that are interested, come to sunny South Africa.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.